Hello everyone, you're joining me in progress on a demonstration of Jennifer for OpenBOR by none other than MasterDerico. I did a tremendous job here. We're going to go to my low game here. Stage 5, level 33, and this is very cool because check this out. I noticed this when I stopped playing in my little demonstration on my own side. In a lot of games, if you stay still, idle, watch what happens. It goes into like an auto animation here. It almost looks like the positioning of the lambada dance straight out of Beetlejuice the movie. But even going back as far as like Sega Genesis, aka Mega Drive games, Quackshot, you'd have like basically the character doing an auto animation. And just think in terms of any game you've ever played, just staying still for a few seconds and just the devious nature of some of the animations that may transpire. And you might actually do 3 or 4 different animations. It's very cool. But as far as like the moveset in this game, I found it very cool that it essentially has a lot of Street Fighter style-esque moves in it. And you'll see what I mean. I can do my Hadouken move when I see my enemies on the screen here. Check this out. I'll do a Hadouken. Down, forward, punch type of thing. Check this out. Come on. I want to do a Hadouken. Look at that. Straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street. I can do my Shoryuken too. Let me get away from the enemy here. Let me just do my little dash here. Let's do Shoryuken. Here we go. You have to do forward, down, forward. There we go. There's my Shoryuken. But I could also like do this kind of crazy stuff. I could vomit. I mean, it had like the whole repertoire. Freddy Krueger. What the hell is going on here? But great game. Really digging this, and I looked into the script and as far as like getting this game running on as many mini classes as I could, because it always crashed on load or after you picked up the end level event for the knife in the first stage. I mean 1.1, it's almost like a choose your own adventure or Return to Zork where you have to basically do a conditioned scripted event, and then it would literally run out of memory and crash, unfortunately, on the mini classics, but it ran fine on its proprietary edition on PC. I mean, kind of like Rescue Palooza, etc. I mean, some of these games just run more proprietary-wise on PC and such. And the other thing I think is cool here, if you have like low health, check this out. You do like that kind of stuff if the enemies have low health. Oh, look at that! Yes. If you get trapped, you can do like the special attack there. And another interesting tidbit here, if you've ever seen the origin story of the Hadouken, it actually originates way back in 1974 in the anime called Space Battleship Yamato. Yes, Hadouken is actually in it. You have a ship in outer space doing a battle, and it's doing the Hadouken move. And those of you in the United States might know the show as Star Blazers. And there actually are Star Blazers video games as well, which is very cool. Me personally, I used to watch Battle of the Planets, G-Force, that kind of stuff. And they even made like a video game for that on PS3, which is pretty cool. It's like an overhead shmup style game. And stuff like Voltron was very similar to that as well. And of course, you wouldn't have anything like Power Rangers if not for the original Voltron and G-Force, etc. Okay, let's see, just try doing some more moves here. Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, if you get trapped with enemies side of you, just do this special attack. I'm gonna do some more Shoryukens. If you ever play like the great Capcom classic on Super Nintendo called Mutant Apocalypse, it also has like Street Fighter style moves where you do like Wolverine, you can do like your Hadouken, Shoryuken, and do some crazy slashing stuff with the adamantium claws. Okay, you can also parlay this into like some dash moves and do some crazy stuff there. Get some enemies down to like low health and do more fatality style moves. A very fantastic job, and I definitely put this in the accolades of one of my top 10 favorite OpenBOR games. And I've gotten other games working like fully from beginning to end, such as Power Rangers, the Power Beats game as well. And this is kind of ironic here because I had just recently acquired a PS5, and since I got the disc version, I figured, like theoretically speaking, since more people were buying the digital version, if I went for the disc version, I'd have a better chance of getting many of these games and such at a cheaper discounted price. And sure enough, lo and behold, I was able to get quite a few PS5 games for like literally $10 or so between GameStop, Best Buy, etc. But then I was in Best Buy walking around. I noticed the Blu-ray section. They had Ultra 4K HD Blu-ray discs, and they had some of them for only like $5 to $6 each. And I started looking up some of the reviews on High Def Blu-ray Digest.com, whatever. And I used to do that as far back as like the Xbox 360 when I had like the HD player and I had King Kong for it and Planet Earth, etc. But in this case, they have what they call reference pieces. These are like movies that are just amazing as far as like video and overall audio quality. And The Revenant, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, was like considered one of the absolute best of the bunch. Okay, do we have anything here like oh, there was like a heart I could like pick up or something? Oh, there we go. That was awesome. Oh, that's Scream Attack. There we go. There's another enemy. So if you look at the script in here, again, it's like a little bit like Return to Zork or Choose Your Own Adventure, the old fun books. But they have like a waiting period after enemies are incapacitated before they respawn. It's kind of cool. I mean, you could have how many enemies are on the screen at once and how long of a waiting period before they translate to the next spawn point and such. But the problem is the spawn points had issues on some of the mini classics as far as like Linux deviations are concerned. But I was able to go into the scripts and adjust these accordingly so this game no longer crashes on the mini classics. And again, I successfully played this from beginning to end. There are a few puzzles here and there which are kind of fun. Oh, look at that. That was a great finishing move there. Okay, look at that. Right there where it loaded, that's normally where it crashed, like in the older revisions. But again, back to my 4K stuff, I picked up, like even if you go back to like the original Blu-ray, some of the first Blu-rays were like Army of the Dead, and they actually did a recall of that because they didn't consider the first version of it to be a great version, so they took it all off the shelves and remastered it. Because I mean, lo and behold, if you play the original Army of Darkness on Blu-ray, you can see the wires holding the characters up in the air. So it was a little bit ridiculous and a little bit surreal in essence, seeing like these characters that should be like gliding and floating, etc., from supernatural reasons, being held up by strings and ropes and such. I mean, but they did a remaster of it, which was great, much cleaner, and you weren't able to see the wires anymore. But there are also like transitions going from like take even a movie like Howard the Duck, which was on DVD. Okay, and I used to watch the hell out of that when it was on TV way back in the day. I've watched that so many times. And it's interesting that it's actually a Marvel character, and a little bit of a minor spoiler alert. They had a little guest appearance of Howard the Duck in a Marvel movie as an ending credits sequence in recent years. But they put this on DVD. I've had it on DVD. They put it on Blu-ray. I didn't pick up the Blu-ray version, but apparently the 4K Ultra HD version actually has spectacular reviews as far as video quality is concerned. And looking into some other ones, the movie Alligator from 1980, where a kid has a pet alligator, his parents flush it down the toilet. Next thing you know, it comes out as like the Monster of the Week style thing. And the Monsters of the Week are always fun because if you grew up watching some of these things like Big Chuck and Little John, Houlihan, or even like Superhost, I mean, depending on what city or state or country you live in, you probably had some kind of thing, like a host, like even Elvira, doing like hosted for these movies, and they would like, in between commercial breaks, do little tidbits, jokes, etc. But currently, if you have like the Shudder app, you can watch Joe Bob Briggs, and he does some great stuff like Chopping Mall was a fantastic 1980s horror movie, and he does like, when he was on like the normal TV channels, he had to like kind of stay scripted within PG elements. But right now he's like R-rated elements, and they actually in the beginning, proceeding beforehand of Chop Mall, he goes into a whole monologue about the safety requirements and the warning labels of sex dolls. And it's absolutely hysterically funny, just the fact that he goes off a tangent so much. It's almost like a stand-up act in essence. But yes, if you have the app for Shudder, definitely, I mean, you can do a trial of it, but definitely check out the Joe Bob Briggs movies on there. And they've even brought Elvira back on there and that stuff too. But 4K-wise, I picked up something I never thought I'd pick up. I actually picked up the Power Rangers movie, which came out a few years ago, and much like the TMNT and such, it's like a whole different ballgame. Not as cheesy, but a little bit of a minor spoiler. Even within the first couple minutes of the movie, Bryan Cranston, of all people, makes an appearance. And that's pretty badass that Bryan Cranston made an appearance in that Power Ranger 4K movie. But the video quality is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not something I'd like watch over and over again, but if people came over, I'd most certainly showcase it. But again, the way this is running right now, I'm working on some of the slowdown things here. Because, I mean, it is what it is. Mini classics have dynamic recompiler issues. So you're going to have slowdown here and there depending on the game. But for the most part, for better or worse, you're able to run most games, 99.5% of games, from beginning to end now on all of the mini classics as far as the next update is concerned. And I'm going to do what I can to get them running even better. I mean, I would love to be able to run this, like, just spot on, perfect all the way through. And other updates, you're going to see Nintendo 64 have an upgrade where games like Pilot Wing 64, which is my absolute favorite Nintendo 64 game. And I platinumed that game way back, along with Blast Corps, that great Rare classic. And I actually bought an Xbox One off of a coworker / friend acquaintance because he needed some money, but I also knew that they had Killer Instinct Reboot and Rare's under the guise of basically property-wise working for Microsoft at the time. So I got my Killer Instinct 1 and 2 arcade, my Rare Replay remix, which comes with Conquered Bad Fur Day RC Pro-Am, Cobra Triangle. I mean, just a whole menagerie of many great games made by Rare. And again, aren't they supposed to be bringing back like a GoldenEye remake too, or reboot? And it's going to be like on next gen and such. I mean, I've seen the Far Cry 5 where they've used that engine. That's pretty badass too, but the original game is great. And many people complain about Oddjob being like a cheater type character because of his low thing. Almost like when you're playing like Soul Calibur 4 and you're using Yoda. He cannot be thrown. So, I mean, you could easily decimate about any opponent in the game if you know what you're doing. Let's try getting past this section. And I always like games where the characters stay on the screen once they're decimated here. And there are so many different interpretations of Akari Warriors. And Akari Warriors on MSX, when you defeat enemies, they actually stay on the screen, just like this. I mean, a lot of games, the enemies will just disappear after you defeat them. I mean, within 2 or 3 seconds, they'll be off the screen. But I like games where they stay on the screen like this. I mean, you see your Maximum Carnage, Spider-Man, and stuff. Maximum Overdrive, all that fun stuff. Even going back to, like, watching Maximum Overdrive many years ago when it was on either Cinemax or Showtime. I had one of those dial TVs. And you had, like, the dial TV where you go through, like, channels 1 through 13 and such. Then you had, like, the channels 1 through 50. I was able to just crank the dial and do the tuning and watch Maximum Overdrive and Cinemax, which would have, like, wavy lines initially. But I was able to tune it in to the point where it actually looked like it just had, like, pixelization. It was pretty badass being able to watch that movie. Me and my sister watched that. We watched Legend of Billie Jean. I mean, I was able to get in, like, Showtime and Skinamax. And I was even able to tune in like the Smurfs and other Canadian channels and get stuff in French. It was pretty kind of cool at the time. So I'd have like kids from the neighborhood come over and we'd be watching Cinemax, Showtime, French TV shows and such. And later on I actually took French when I was in school. So I actually do have a basic comprehension of Spanish and French to the point where I can read it and hear it and understand it. I don't speak it as well, but a lot of times I'll watch foreign movies. I mean, some of the best horror movies I've ever seen, I mean, since we're on the tangent here with foreign horror movies, are actually French. Like Baisemois. That was a very disturbingly crazy horror movie. Think of some other horror movies that are in French. I mean, and I don't watch them dubbed or anything. I mean, I've seen some of them get re-released in the United States dubbed. I tend to watch the movies in their original language, just like I watch games in their original language, and then I'll just turn subtitles on. It's also funny sometimes when you see, like, badly translated subtitles. Like, I mean, obviously, I have subtitles on even when I watch English stuff, and just seeing them, like, change words. Like, they'll have a vulgar word just changed to something else. I mean, it's just what it is at the time. And I'm stuck into the game so bad right now. Let's try doing, like, another crazy move here. Let's try to do our Hadouken style move here. Oh, look at that. That was great. I'm going to do it with... There we go. Space Battleship Yamato again. Let's at least get past this section. But yes, the Power Rangers Beats of Power runs great now. I was able to play through literally the entire game successfully. Just fantastic all the way. So if there are any other games that you have issues with, I mean, be it the Mortal Kombat games, etc., be sure to let me know. I mean, we have about any game you could imagine covered. Unfortunately, the LNS Final Fight game, I may not worry about that as far as like the PlayStation Classic or Amiga 500 Mini are concerned for now, but every other game such as TMNT Rescue Palooza are all going to be comparably supported on all the Mini Classics. And there are particular reasons why LNS is not going to work on the PlayStation Classic or the Amiga 500, at least for now. And I'm not going to get into the details of that, but there's been a bit of drama in the OpenBOR scene, kind of like the drama we've had in our Mini Classic scene and such. I'm just not going to get involved in that. And I'm just going to stick to the stable, tried and true, OpenBOR build philosophy as far as running 99.5% of the amount of games otherwise. Oh, yay, we have a chainsaw here. And speaking of SplatterHouse, I had SplatterHouse reboot on PlayStation 3, and that is just a fun game. And you actually go through like wormholes and time travel and all kinds of crazy stuff. And there's actually like a cel-shaded cartoon world as well in there. And that is awesome. I love games that have like a cel-shaded appearance, like Okami. I mean, what would you say your favorite cel-shaded game is? And you're not allowed to say Wind Waker either. Try to think of an actual other cel-shaded game. Okay? We have just a tad bit of slowdown here, but again, for better or worse, if you want to play this game fully on the Amiga 500 Mini and a PlayStation Classic, it is what it is. But on the Mega Drive and, of course, the SNES Classic, you should be able to play this full speed ahead. I'll do what I can to get this run better on the PlayStation and Amiga 500 Mini Classic as well. But yeah, definitely do a little bit of a compatibility thing here. Let me know what games you have issues with. I mean, I'll also work on trying to get the Night Slashers X game, which is made by, of course, none other than Data East. I mean, great company. They made the RoboCop games. I mean, there's so many games they've made over the years that are fantastic. Karnov, Bad Dudes, and Sly Spy, which is my favorite James Bond without the license style game. Very much thoroughly enjoying this. Let's try to get a crazy max combo here. Oh! Come on, Space Battleship Yamato. Again, it's very much work in progress now. I'm trying to fine-tune this like I've done with the Nintendo 64 stuff in the past. Look, it didn't crash. Are we going to have a boss here? This looks like something straight out of like SplatterHouse or even Night Slashers. Oh, that was cool. Whoa, what's going on there? Have there ever been a movie ever that has made you jump or get creeped out where you had to like sleep with the lights turned out and such? I mean, I went as far back as like as a kid. I was watching like the original Dracula movies, you know, with Peter Cushing and all that. And Vincent Price. I mean, I've watched all those type of things. But many years ago, me and my sister snuck and watched Halloween 2 when she was a kid and I was much younger. And she had to sleep in my room on the ground with the lights on. And I left the lights on for her. But maybe the lights might have been on for me as well. I mean, it was kind of a creepy movie with this twist ending. But let me know if there's ever been a movie that's like creeped you out. I mean, be it The Ring or the Grudge, etc., or even Blackwater. I mean, has there ever been a movie that's creeped you out? For me, it's more or less not horror movies like that, but just stuff like even Kevin Smith, Tusk, that type of stuff. I mean, oh look. We have Jennifer Connelly there. This is like a twisted version of Labyrinth right here. What's Jennifer Connelly doing in this game? Oh, wow. It's like Jennifer Connelly mixed over with like Exorcist 3. What is this? Oh, wow. We got a chainsaw here? It's like a trap, right? Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. And better yet, I mean, aside from a movie ever scaring you, have you ever gone into like a haunted house and been scared? I mean, I've had a few jump scares in haunted houses, and I usually like give a high five or a fist bump or shake the hands of people that scare me. I mean, there's one point where they had a setup at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. It was like an insane asylum, and they had this girl come down. She was like Harley Quinn style, but she came up from a higher angle and literally swung in on a rope. It was almost like she was doing like a stunt scene straight out of like Resident Evil. But I gave her a fist bump because she generally like gave me a jump scare. And have you ever had like a moment in a haunted house where you had a jump scare like that? And sometimes they have people, and this is kind of bad for kids, of course, who are uninitiated in what's real and what's not reality, where they had like somebody in like a Wolfman costume run full speed ahead, chasing our car. And back in the day, they'd actually like jump on the car and beat down on the car with their fists and stuff. But I don't think that would fly nowadays because there'd probably be lawsuits galore. But things were just so much crazier in the 80s and 90s and such. Nobody wore seatbelts or anything. You'd have like 11 kids compacted it. Whoa, what's going on? Am I like in spoiler, like Hellraiser here? Where you go into the beyond? This is very interesting. It's like even when you play like Gauntlet, Dark Legacy, and you have like the Dream World. This is kind of what this reminds me of here. Whoa, that was a waste of a move. Very cool though. Whoa, can I keep doing that? Okay, I don't know what to expect here. We'll do this before we shut down on this video. Hadouken! But what movies have you been watching on TV or theaters, etc. lately? I finished watching Shantaram, which you know the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I mean, I've seen him in, of course, like a few other movies. King Arthur, he was in that. Was it Charlie Punnam? Was that his name? But he did a fantastic job in Shantaram, and I'm kind of disappointed the show got canceled. Is this gonna go anywhere, or do I have to go back and like take care of that thing? Let's see. See how far I can. Maybe I can just do this dash. There we go. Hit me with your double vision. There we go. Episode complete. Okay, I just had to scroll to the end of the stage here. Very, very cool there. You got a little Suicide Girl thing going on there for those of you who know what that is. Okay.